Good evening. Welcome to AHTV and Friends. I am not by myself. Don't you worry. My lovely co-host for this evening. We do have a full house, by the way. I'll introduce them one by one. So tonight we have from Boston, Massachusetts, the main man over there, the Boston Hammers. We got David Lang. What's going on, David?
Hi, same old, feeling bored, feeling trapped inside my house. Really hope football makes it back soon. It's good to see everyone. It's good to talk to everyone.
Definitely. And from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, we got West Ham Philly, Mr. Mark Brooklyn tonight. What's going on, Mark?
Doing good. Glad to be back on Hammers TV. It's been a while. Anyone who's in a gambling slump like I am, I've really gotten into Korean baseball. Shout out LG Tigers.
There you go. So you got a team. That's awesome. Yeah, awesome. So another fixture that we've had on this channel quite a bit. A guy that you recognize. Pretty much you'll recognize everybody tonight. But the next man is my main man from Sacramento, and goes by June 1st. That's his name. June 1st. You sure? Sally.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody's sure about anything at this point, but yeah, man, it's good to be back. Had a busy week of work. It's nice to see the Korean baseball league getting some shine because they take baseball seriously over there as football in Europe, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
awesome. And yes, we do have more people here tonight. So next we have from St. Louis, or the St. Louis area, St. Louis Hammers, a good friend of the show who's been on a bunch of our shows before. You recognize him, Dave Sperry. What's going on, Dave? How you doing?
Not much, fellas. How's it all going out there? Bored out of my mind with no sports, and I'm going to probably start gambling on. I'm tired of gambling on Belarus football and Chinese table tennis, so I got to find something. Maybe baseball.
Yeah, well, UFC's back. That was a good event the other night. It was kind of weird. You get to hear everything. It was kind of bizarre, but at least there's something. And last but definitely not least, great friend of the show from Hammers Chat, the one, the only, a top lad, Charlie Walsh. What's going on, Charlie?
Hello. Let's see if we can break StreamYard, shall we? Let's bring up Hammer's polls. Let's see how bad it goes. Come on, let's give it a shot.
No, I'm telling you, listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm on a mission to just. Oh Jesus! See, I'm
already starting.
Going well.
I'm on a mission of self-destruction. So let's tear this place down. But yeah, anyway, there's a whole lot of people in the chat room tonight. I do see already, which is great. Love it. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to do some Hammers polls to start things off. And please play along if you're in the chat room. We'll try to pull up your comments to add something else to the screen that will probably help destroy StreamYard. But first things first, I do have to mention a few things. It was Mother's Day, obviously, this last Sunday. So, Matt Taylor, the interview that we were supposed to do 2 weeks ago, that got pushed. Well, I misunderstood, so it got pushed to last weekend. I forgot and pushed it again. So long story short, I got the messages to prove it. I ain't showing you. No, Matt Taylor, we're going to interview him this Sunday. Matt Taylor, the volley king. Fucking guy's awesome. Love him to death. But anyway, even though he is a coach at Spurs now in the academy. Besides that, he's a good guy. So we're going to interview him 1 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. I know I've said that multiple times before, but it's definitely going to happen this Sunday. Then again, if you want screenshots, I'll send them to you. But anyway, it's definitely happening. So
we believe you, Tim.
The other thing is, from May 10th, which was yesterday, till May 17th, there's free shipping in our threadless shop. Okay, so I guess that includes UK. I'm assuming so. So take advantage of that while you can. There is a code that you have to use, which I posted on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram today. Jesus. So go check that out. I pinned it. I tried to anyway. So please check it out. We added like 3 new designs. One's like Cancer Out. The other one's a Minecraft dude. And there's another one with like West Ham and then UTD and soccer ball and stuff. You can get it literally on anything. There's everything from skateboards to, bath mats to shower curtains to, actual flags or posters or whatever. T-shirts, hoodies for kids, women, and men, obviously. Tons of cool stuff, tons of different color options, etc. And thanks to the recent people who've been buying stuff in our shop. I really appreciate that. Good stuff. And Alex, got to thank him for keeping that thing going and setting that up for us. If you want, obviously, to check out the designs, please do so at ahtv.threadless.com. And the last thing I got to mention is Hammer Shots. Yeah, so this new game show we've been doing, we've done 2 episodes already. Hammer Shots, awesome. Yes, thanks, Mark, over there in Philly for the cool name. We don't have any money, so you can't sue us. Anyway, but we're more than welcome to come on as a contestant. But so anybody who wants to be a contestant on the show, please, you want to test your West Ham knowledge. Come on, I mean, it's fun. It's all in good fun anyway. So we've done 2 episodes. I think Irish Tommy and he won the first episode, which is awesome. And upcoming on Wednesday, we get Zach from the DC area versus Jazz, which is going to be a unique matchup because Zach is like an encyclopedia, even though he hasn't been following the club that long, but he's very studious versus Jazz, who's been a lifelong Hammer. So should be a good matchup. Stay tuned for that on Wednesday. Also, there's a brand new show we got coming up. By popular demand, Katie and Rebecca have their own show now every other Thursday night, starting this Thursday. Shit, I forgot that. But anyway, it's gonna be cool. Yeah, check it out Thursday nights. And good stuff. So tomorrow night, Ray Borum will be doing his Hammer the Point show with his PowerPoints. Play on words there. So anyway, Becky's rigging me shit in the chat for not remembering the name of the show. Sorry. I've got so much going on. Anyway, long story short, let's pull up some Hammers polls. Let's get right to this and see if we can break this thing down. And hope everybody's doing good and staying healthy and all that good crap. All right. Did I break it?
Rebecca might reach through the chat and get you, Tim, for forgetting the name.
Hammer it out. Okay, so it's the show's called Hammer It Out. Okay. There you go. Good stuff. All right, so the first question, this is from Tony Pearson, good friend of the show, good friend of Hammer's Polls as well. I guess this was on May 10th, so it's not like today's news, but a third Brighton player was contracted or has contracted COVID-19 and is self-isolating for 14 days with the risk that our players might catch it. Is it time to do the sensible thing and avoid the season? So we were going to talk about this anyway at some point. We might as well get right to it. Should we avoid the season? Should we just get it over with and move on? What's your final opinion on this? We'll start with David and go down the stack here.
I was of the opinion that we should null and void the season. But for I understand the latest news, the 3 heads of the FA said that that's not going to happen. So there's only 2 options. The only 2 options are to cancel play as it goes along, but to have average points per game as the formula to decide relegation and promotion. And I believe under that formula, we would be safe, and Aston Villa, Bournemouth, and Norwich would go down. And the other option is to start play on June 1st, as Sully's tagline refers to. That's what we're going with now. I thought null and void was a little suspect in the sense that Liverpool wouldn't get the title, and as much as the average West Ham fan, at least the UK-based West Ham fan, hates Liverpool or has a dislike for Liverpool, I shouldn't say hate. There's like a 0.00001% chance of them not winning based on their points total and how many games are remaining. So they wouldn't get it in that case. But I'm fine either way. I'm fine with it, with them doing the points per game, even though that's a little harsh on Villa because they had 1 game less. And you never know what could have happened in the remaining games. Or if they resume play, even though it's not going to be the same behind closed doors. But let's see. People are really missing sports, so let's see what happens.
Definitely. We'll definitely we'll get to that a little bit later. Real quick, in regards to the comments in the chat room, we actually have throw pillows for sale at ahtv.threadless.com with any logo you like. You can get a Hammers Polls logo, as a matter of fact, on a throw pillow that you could use in regards to the comments in the chat room. Anyway, long story short, Mark.
Tim, weren't you just saying to Mark that you had no money and now you're trying to sell pillows?
Well, yeah. You know what? As a matter of fact, buy some West Ham Philly pillows, please. Please buy as many as you possibly could. You know what? The highest margin actually is on the shower curtains. So please stock up on your shower curtain. West Ham Philly. Cool. Mark, your thoughts on the question?
Yeah, I mean, I want sports as much as the next guy. I've resorted to Korean baseball at 4 or 5 in the morning, but I just the faster that we try to push sports through, the less likely it is that this thing just dies and goes away. So we have to, unfortunately, make the sacrifice now for however long it is to make sure that we don't find ourselves in this situation again. I don't think that, like Dave was saying, I don't think that they're actually going to just null and void the season. I don't think that's going to happen. There'll be another solution. But to me, I don't think resuming play is a viable option for any sport. It doesn't matter if it's behind closed doors or not. I mean, it's not like the players are invincible here. So for me, the owners are probably bitching that they're losing all this money. Well, guess what? Everyone in America is losing money. Unemployment's up to what, 30%? Or is it at 50% yet? I mean, everyone's getting screwed over here. It's unfortunate. It's just the way that it is. But until we can be certain that this thing isn't going to continue to spread and we can squash this thing once and for all, I mean, things got to stay the way that it is. And unfortunately, I don't think that we can play sports right now.
Sully, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's just a smart choice to just nix it. If people are getting coronavirus from quarantine, whatever the player was doing, I know not every player has been abiding by the quarantine laws that Britain has brought down. But I mean, if people are still, if people are still getting this and we're not playing, then I feel like playing it is just going to spread it, especially with how close contact of a game football is. And I think the only other option that would fast track that is if a star player, somebody from a top 6 team, that people actually cared about outside of a Brighton fan, Sergio Aguero, somebody like that, Mo Salah, if they got it, the season will be over in an instant. So I mean, there's no point in rushing it because you need to think about the safety of the players too, because they're people as well. I mean, I know players get held to a higher standard as far as, what they do and they're superstars and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they have a family and stuff they have to protect as well. So I don't think it would be smart to start it, however they want to finish it as far as like points total or whatever. Fine, do that. Liverpool's been the champs for 3 months now, so nobody's going to be shocked that they won it, So I think that's just a smart thing to do.
Dave.
Well, I'm going to say that we do need to cancel this season, but maybe not for the reason of the safety of the players and all that. I just think we need to get it done because we're starting to get into the time where next season is in jeopardy. And we need to start thinking about getting that. I think that's more important, getting the start of the next season going and just saying this one's null and void. I mean, it sucks for Liverpool, but, we got to get back on schedule. It's either that or they change their schedule and they start playing starting in January until the season ends.
I mean, if they weren't in first place, I mean, and say Man United was in first place, I mean, they and their supporters would be all over canceling the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So, anyway, Charlie.
Yeah, here we go. So like the options, like David touched on there, I guess are the options are play it to the finish. I think they've said null and void is off the table, but not just ending the season here. It's more null and void in the sense of nothing will matter. That's off the table, but they could just finish the season as is. And then the other one is points per game. Either points per game just done now or points per game with that weird home and away thing that they were talking about, which would see us relegated if we were to do that. The home and away, I think we'd be relegated. I think Gio told me.
I didn't know there was 2 versions. Thanks.
Yeah. Gio, I didn't know either until Gio literally told me on the phone, and it was like, I think we get relegated by 0.18 of a point or something,
Oh, wow.
just to put it how close it would be. For me, I think we just finished the season here. It doesn't matter how. I don't really care. Like, I just think we're in such a weird time, in a weird place where the health and safety of everyone involved is of the utmost importance for me. Be it because you think about the players catching it. That's the thing everyone talks about, and obviously, like, you have the Brighton player at the moment or whatever. But in those games, no matter how they're played out, it's not just the players. Like, the players might not be in an at-risk category, but that doesn't mean all of the coaches might not be. That doesn't mean the managers might not be. Some of those managers are old as all hell. I was going to swear there, but I managed to stop myself. The people who work for the TV companies, like, there is a hell of a lot of medical staff. There's a hell of a lot of people in and around those things that you're asking. It's just asking for trouble. You look at Germany; they've had a team have to go into isolation just before they're about to restart because of it, and that's a country who has dealt with it well. The UK hasn't dealt with it very well. So to lob something as big as that into the works is just a bad idea, in my opinion. I think we should, whether it's null and void, whether it's finish it on points per game at home and away, whatever it is, I think playing the games now is a bad idea. And oh my God, Tim, it's not broken. You've pulled the thing up as well, but it's not broken.
It's covering your face. So, but
It's covering his face.
That's not a problem. I can deal with that. That's not
and then poor Dave, he's on top of his hat. It looks like Robert's wearing a hat. Yeah, I don't even know how to pull this down. There we go. All right. There we go. Voila. Listen, my thoughts are that I don't want to see the behind the closed doors matches because they're talking about they keep pushing the dates back, and like David was saying, next season what we got to worry about. So let's worry about next season. Let's make sure that next season's all set. Everybody's happy, healthy for next season. Like everybody across the board, like these players and coaches you're talking about. Let's get something in place that next season is prepared and ready to go. Let's focus on that and not focus on finishing this and doing it willy-nilly. And then, yes, obviously risking those, everybody would be at risk, rushing this back, doing these behind the closed doors matches. There'll still be people near each other, spitting on each other, blowing snot rockets on each other, rolling around that, it's just disgusting. But anyway, I don't know. I just move on. Let's just move on. You know what I mean? The season's just done, and I don't care literally at this point how they figure it out as long as West Ham stays up. Period.
Well, my thing with that too, just real quick, the teams that are staying up and the teams that are going down, I mean, as much as it must suck to be relegated, you kind of put yourself in that position. I mean, I know nobody. Yeah, I mean, if we get relegated, it'll suck, sure, and it might be harder to watch the games being in the championship, but we put ourselves in this position, first off by signing a terrible backup keeper who couldn't save anything, and then
waiting too long to sign a new man or fire the manager and sign a new manager.
Right. Yeah. So I mean,
a whole lot of instances.
Exactly. Yeah. And every team that's around this area has done something, whether it be injuries, whatever the case may be, to be in this spot. So if relegation comes, granted, it might not be the way you wanted to get relegated. It is what it is, should have done better kind of thing.
But doesn't the league get put themselves at risk for litigation, getting sued because, well, I didn't get the chance to play, And same with the teams that don't get to move up, they could sue as well. If you don't, if everything stays the same. So it's a big mess. I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I saw in Mexico they canceled relegation for the next 5 seasons.
What?
They canceled relegation promotion for the next 5 years. So I don't know. Talk about litigation. I don't know how that works out or anything, but not saying that that the Premier League should do that, but I guess that's one way of going around it. I guess.
Yeah.
That would never work in Britain, but
I would also change my answer to say that we should not finish this season or cancel the season, with the caveat that West Ham does not get pushed down, because I watch Sunderland till I die, and I promise you, if West Ham gets knocked out of the Prem, they are never coming the fuck back. Sorry.
That's fair.
They will be completely screwed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the thing too. So if we do these behind closed doors matches, we're at neutral sites. What if we play like shit? What if we lose the next fucking matches? Out of the 9. And then get fucking relegated just like that. Either way. I mean, it's there's a risk. every which way you look at it.
This team doesn't have the ownership in place to bring this team back from champions. They don't. They can't get it done. So I've always been the one like, oh, I would take a relegation if it meant that they would sell the team and bring in, Red Bull or whoever the hell it is. I've done a complete 180 after watching the Sunderland Till I Die documentary. That thing is brutal. It's brutal. I mean, they're still fucked. No one even knows who the hell they are. West Ham. Who knows what would happen to West Ham? Who knows?
Yeah. Next question. We're going to start with we're going to do like a serpentine here, I guess you say. We'll start with Charlie and go up this time. Talk selling Sebastian Haller has surfaced over the past few days. Your thoughts? One, if we get the money, then sell him. No, we have not seen the best of him yet. Let's keep him and help him produce. Or three, fuck it, it doesn't matter. It's pure speculation. What are your immediate thoughts on this, or what are you dwelling over?
It is pure speculation. It's not going to happen, mainly because I don't think anyone who would pay half as much as we would pay for him right now, just given the current situation, it would be a stupid business move to do. And then on a grander scale, we haven't seen anywhere near the best of what he can do. If Haller, in a season in which everyone is sort of lauded him for being quite bad, is still getting 7 goals and is the top goal scorer with a quarter of the season to go, I don't know what more you can kind of want. We have this obsession with a big name striker getting 20 goals a season as if that's a thing that's common, when it's just not. Like 20 goals in a season is an insane amount of return for anyone. I mean, there are very few strikers who get that. I think he's more than good enough for us, and I think with the right people around him, he could be absolutely brilliant. And we've seen that. When he's played really well this season, he has been fantastic. So getting rid of him making the decision to get rid of him after 3/4 of a season, after spending £45 million on him, is a bit premature, in my opinion.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's total speculation, just like any of these moves that are talking about anywhere in the league. But no one's going to buy him for the price that they want to sell him for.
Yeah.
They haven't seen enough to say that, oh, he's going to be worth the, 35 million, much less the 45 we paid. So, yeah. And I agree. If we get the right people in place around him, then yeah, he could be, we would see a lot. I think we would see a better player than what we have. So yeah, I say it's just speculation.
Silly.
Yeah, it's speculation. And just like Charlie was saying, it'd be kind of ridiculous to sell him, especially when we wouldn't recover the money that we used to spend on him. Plus, I mean, when I see Haller at his best, I honestly see somebody who can turn into a Lukaku type player. Just his physical presence. There's not many people who play in the back line that can stop him. Especially with the smaller clubs. Like he should be 1-2 goals a game versus the bottom tier clubs in the league. But I would keep him. I would agree. We haven't seen the best of him, but when we have seen him at his best, he's dangerous. But at that same rate, I think we have to play a system that curtails to his strengths, to where we have 2 strikers up front, because that's what he's used to and that's what he shined with this year when we had 2 players. So, yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, I hate to be in the same boat because it makes for better conversation to disagree. But I don't think that we have yet to see the best of him. I think he's a great player. He's not the fastest guy. You'd like him to have a little bit more speed, but I mean, his game is his game, and I don't think that this team has built an offense to cater to his game. And if you're going to pay a guy that much money, you need to find the players that are going to fit his game. And I feel like even when he's playing like shit, once a game we see him do something amazing. You're like, oh my God, how the hell did he do that? Whether it's a ridiculous bike that didn't go in or whatever it is. I definitely don't think that we should sell him. And there was another point that I wanted to make that I forgot. Maybe I already had too many beers. But
It's all good. It's all good. Robbie just made a good point. That we've all said this on one show or another. That he just needs more help, and I don't think he needs it. And I think Charlie and I have discussed this in other shows as well. That he's got the help now. He definitely we have the help for him. It's just a matter of playing that. Getting them playing that right. We got Bowen now.
Yeah, we do have Bowen, and Bowen. Oh, man, how fun was it to watch him, and then have the season get canceled. But what Charlie was saying, guys who are scoring, 20 goals a game. Who the hell is scoring 20 goals a game? Mohamed Salah. How many goals does he have? 20, 22 maybe. So I mean, who are we really comparing Allaire to the rest of the league? Anyway,
David.
Yeah, I agree with everyone. I want to thank John Lynch for the shout out in the comments. I miss you. I hope to see you again pretty soon. It's just I think it's plain that we shouldn't sell him. I don't think we could get good value for him. I don't think he was properly utilized in the 2019-2020 campaign, which may resume. I do agree that Bowen will really help him, even though Bowen is not a true second striker, and that's Allaire's game. But I do just want to bring up a larger point that I'm extremely frustrated with West Ham's seeming ability to sign a high-priced striker and then not support them and leave that striker kind of awash. I think with Chicharito, we did the same thing. We didn't really have a second striker who could play to his strengths. Striker always seems to be the position where West Ham is lacking. If you look at this campaign, we had really only two true strikers, Allaire and Albijan Ajeti. I always forget how that's pronounced. But to have that, that's pretty ridiculous. So I think we'll be fine with the way we've set it up. I think Bowen, Antonio, and other players can support Allaire, but I'm very frustrated with the way he was used this campaign.
Yeah, I agree with Robbie 100%, and I've said this too in the past that if we kept on to Chicharito, him and Allaire would have been a lethal combination, just because they're two different styles of play, and they're both poachers in the box at their own respect. But I feel like whatever Chicharito can't do, Allaire can, and vice versa, and I think that would have been really nice to see. Granted, there was no way of knowing that ahead of time, but yeah, that would have been lethal.
It all goes back to playing. It doesn't matter who it was. It was Pellegrini or even Moyes. Moyes isn't necessarily a two-striker manager.
Yeah.
He definitely likes his one up front. I don't even think that. Plus, he's not a big fan of Chicharito. So
yeah,
the history of that. So I don't know how well that would have worked out. Even though if we had the right manager, yes, that would be a brilliant partnership. But you need the right manager to make that happen. All right, so whatever. I'm not even going to answer these polls. Just I'm going to leave it blank so that you people in the chat room can go head on over to Hammer's polls and make your own votes. How about that? Keep guessing. All right. So next question. With the likes of Diangana, Ngakia, Johnson, Holland, potentially Silva, and even Cullen ready to step into the first team next season. Yes, we're talking about next season. Does Moyes need to spend big in this transfer window, whatever transfer window they're talking about?
Don't forget about Big George.
That's right. There you go. Yeah, you got it. All right. So we'll start with David and go downward.
No, I actually think based on David Moyes' philosophy and what he said in his public comments, definitely not. He said that in addition to those players who he may call up, he is interested in signing young, hungry players, from the Championship and from Ligue 1, the French league. And I actually think that fits in with where we are right now. I think it's good to have a young, hungry team. I think we saw what happened when we added Bowen. Sushek, who was from the Czech league, he's not from the leagues I mentioned. But seeing as we tried to kind of craft a system where we could compete with the top six and it didn't work, I think we need to revert to pivot to plan B, where we kind of have a young, hungry team who's has good conditioning, because that's one of David Moyes' strengths, even though he has a lot of weaknesses. So I wouldn't be opposed to that strategy, although in the list of that players who's mentioned on the polls, I think some would be good to call up and some wouldn't. But overall, I think going with youth can be a positive, especially with the financial situation that COVID-19 is bringing about.
Yeah. Mark.
I think one of the biggest complaints that I've had, and a lot of people talking, has been getting younger, playing faster, being better conditioned, wanting it more, trying to play harder. Those are all traits that younger guys seem to have. Get fresh guys in here that are going to be able to play the game, who want to play the game, who want to play to win. It seems like every time we go out and make this big signing and sign this player, we think he's going to all of a sudden turn the club around and we're going to be, the best team in the league. And then not that, and we're all pissed off. So going after that big signing in transfer windows does not seem to work for us. So let's just stop trying to do it. Why don't we just get a whole bunch of guys who are real strong players, who are going to work their ass off, who are going to play as a team? And I bet that team is going to be a whole lot better than a bunch of jackasses we have who are all overpaid jokers.
Robbie's a man in my heart, man. I'm telling you, this guy. Like I've mentioned many times before that I would love to see Rice play center back, even though it'll never happen because he's England's holding midfielder, and he'll stay that way so long as he's playing for England. We've talked about this on the show many times with many different people. The thing is, though, there hasn't been much talk about Diop lately. There was, when this whole COVID bullshit first happened, about us selling him away. But there hasn't been as much talk about him lately. But the Declan Rice talk seems to continue. But no, the whole idea that, what Robbie was saying was having Souček and Snodgrass as the holding midfielders. See, a lot of people, for whatever reason, believe that Snodgrass is a winger, which he's not. He's a central midfielder by his body shape, by his everything, by his speed, by his ability. He's best suited as central midfielder, whether it be a defensive midfielder or holding midfielder or a central midfielder. I've said this a million times and I stick by it. So I would love to see him with Souček because goddamn Noble needs to just move on somewhere. But yes, really, people in the chat room. So anyway.
You don't take out that one.
Listen, I'm entitled to a one rant per episode. So this is.
I agree more with the official carpet. I agree. Snodgrass is getting old. I think he should be an impact sub more than a starter.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? We need his what do you call it?
No, we still need him. Don't get me wrong.
Specialties.
We need his grit. We need his hustle. We need his.
Well, that's what they say about Noble.
I've noticed David Moyes brought him in.
No, his corner kicks. We need his corner kicks. That's what he's best at.
Yep. No, he's good on set pieces. I agree with that too.
Yes. Yeah. But anyway, I'll move on. Okay. Who is next?
That would be me. I got it. So I think there is a world where you can see all those players potentially on West Ham at the same time, and that is if we go down to the championship. And you'll see all those players, whether they're starting or on the bench, regardless, they're on the team. And I am surprised, honestly, that they didn't put Jordan Hugo on here since Moyes is the one that did bring him in. It would just naturally make sense for him to be called back up to the team anyway. And I do see that happening at the summer anyway, because, we have Moyes for another season. So, like I said, it just fits. Plus, I think Ngakia, I think the spot is his to lose at this point, honestly. Johnson, if we could find somebody else, I don't know. I think Ngakia and Johnson I do see as our future moving forward, but I only see one of them starting at a time. The midfield players, Ghana, Holland, Cullen, maybe one of them starting, but I think all of them could be on the squad. But I think, like I said in the past, you're only out of all those names, including Hugo, you're only going to see one or two of them maybe being first team players constantly.
Unless there's an injury.
Unless there's an injury, or unless there's like a fire sale.
There's only one of them, unless there's an injury. So there's only one of them that actually has a starting position. That's Ngakia. There's no room for anybody else. Everybody loves Diangana, but there's no room for him on the pitch. None.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think Johnson, honestly, would be the number two one to start anyway, because he's had that time in the first team. We don't know Silva yet. I mean, he started up in League Two, and he looks great when he's healthy. It was a freak accident that got him out of there, but it's all potential for him and for everybody. Holland went out, did great things. Diangana is a big reason why West Brom is #1 in the championship. And Hugo, dude's 13 goals all season for all comps. So, I mean, you can make a case for any one of them or for all of them, honestly. But I don't know. And just because I think a lot of them have a lot of potential, I don't see all of them coming back to West Ham either. But
yeah. So, and then I think it was Rebecca here. She mentioned something about okay, so Grady and Ngakia are key out of all those people. But now picture this, right? So Grady, who we're just discussing, not a starter for us. Okay, like there's 3 or 4 attacking midfielders that could go ahead of him, right? So you think that he'd want to come be like an impact sub for us, or would he rather start 38 games or whatever, 46 games, whatever it is in championship? You know what I'm saying? What do you think he'd rather do? So anyway, Dave, let's give Dave a shot here.
Okay. Well, the answer that I would love to say is yes. I'd love to see us spend money and get a splash and try to do something. The problem is we have no scouting department. We have nobody to pick anything right. And when we do pick something right, when we do it, Sullivan picks it, and it's just garbage. So I don't trust anything they do because we don't have the right infrastructure to recruit and look at talent the way we should. So are these guys going to be here? Yeah, sure, they're going to be there because we got no option.
If this was Friday Night Lights, you'd have like 6 thumbs up right now. Anyway, listen, you're dead on right.
Yeah.
Dead on right. Charlie.
First things first, just shout out Selly. He's doing my boy good today, and I can respect that every time you mention him. It's like Christmas morning. I get very excited. Yeah, I mean, where do you even start with all of it? I mean, I guess so with the Declan Rice centre-back thing, let's just mention that very quickly. Players can play different positions for their national team and their club. It happens before. It's happened. Like Ogbonna used to play right back for Italy, left back for Italy sometimes. While playing centre back for like Juve and stuff. David Alaba is a big example. He's played basically every position possible for his national side, and then plays left back pretty consistently for Bayern Munich. These things can happen. The only reason I think Declan Rice is a defensive midfielder is because that's where the Ireland national team needed him at that moment in time, and then Pellegrini went with it because that's where he went. That's what happened. And I mean, these things happen, but he's obviously going to start a DM just because England have no other DMs. Just none. Don't even start with Harry Winks. The other thing, Snodgrass, like he's good at corners, but is he? I mean, like he is, but is he? How many did he actually score? Not many.
I'd say 75% to 80% of his assists were from corner kicks.
Yeah, but he doesn't get that many assists, does
exactly. He only had 4, so I'd say 3 of them were about from corner kicks.
Yeah, but that's okay. How many? All right, I won't use the Fabianski argument against you. We'll move on.
Okay, good one.
But yeah, I think the players should have a role in the squad. I think they need a role in the squad, to be honest. I think we're not going to be able to spend money, is the truth of the matter. We just don't have it to spend. I don't think many clubs will, and unless we sold someone for ridiculous money, how are we going to spend it? We should do, yeah, of course we should. Like every season we don't spend big is another step further backwards. If you're not moving.
If you're one of these guys, you wouldn't be bitching and complaining and whining and crying that you're so young and you had your opportunity to be a full-time starter, and now all of a sudden you're like,
Diangana would rather be an impact sub at West Ham than he would have started in the Championship. Bro, in the Championship, are you mad? Let me put it this way, right? The average wage in the Championship is what? 20 grand? The average wage in the Premiership is probably more like 50. You're an impact sub in the Prem. You're earning more money. You're on a bigger stage. You're going to learn more. You're facing bigger players. You're facing better players. It's a fact of the matter. You would much rather. The thing is, right? If Diangana, let's use Diangana as the example, right? If Diangana is in the squad for West Ham, he's playing ahead of a lot of our players. The only people you would say would start ahead of him are Bowen, and Anderson probably, and Antonio probably, right? But one of them get injured, that guy's straight in there, bruv. Who would you rather come off the bench on the wing? Tim, as someone who's just said Snodgrass isn't a winger, Snodgrass or Dean Garner? Who would you rather see come off the wing, right? These are the things you have to think.
I want him starting.
Yeah, well, that's
No,
another story for another time.
I don't want him starting.
But I agree with David on this one. I agree with David on this one. I'd start Noble over Snodgrass, but that's a side note. I think the starters for me, if you have to pick an 11, is Rice, Souček, and Fornals. That would be
that's what Robbie Hart is saying in the comments. I totally agree. That would be my ideal 3 midfielders to start.
Yeah.
So, out of all, this would make a great Hammers poll, actually. Noble or Snodgrass, because listen, for the main fact that the people on Twitter, okay, who are West Ham supporters, are so pro fucking Snodgrass, and they bash Noble all the fucking time. I guarantee you, if you put this poll up, the fucking love and outpouring for Noble will come out. I swear to God. So, listen,
but our midfield three doesn't include Noble or Snodgrass, so there's no conflict.
Right.
Boy, fucking yeah, get him out of here. Listen, I'm not saying I'm saying if it was a choice, like if Diop was gone, then that means if we're pushing what's his name, Rice down, which
Okay, I see that. I see that.
Yeah.
So to play devil's advocate, right, is specifically talking about Diangana. So he was going to be on a team that was going to get promoted to the Premier League anyways. So regardless, next season he was going to be in the Prem, whether it be for West Brom or West Ham. So I guess the question for that would be, would Diangana sacrifice starting minutes at West Brom for substitution minutes at West Ham if he's in the Premier League regardless?
Yeah, probably not. But he was on loan, so West Brom would have to sign him. Not re-sign him. Would have to sign him to a contract, which they probably would do.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that would be part of it too. Is would he sign back with West Brom to get permanent starts, or go back to West Ham where he would be an impact sub and probably start maybe half the time?
The thing is with youth players, right, is like, yes, they need minutes. Like, it's vitally important these players get minutes, as many minutes as they possibly can in order to get better. You don't get better if you're not playing football. Simple fact of the matter. If you want to become a world-class fucking 10-pin bowler, you're not going to become it unless you're 10-pin bowling. It's just a fact of life. So they need the minutes on the pitch. So if someone's not guaranteed a start, then loaning them out is the right thing. That's why I said in the past on these shows, I would loan out one of Johnson and Ngakia and keep the other one in the team. But it's having only 2 people for each position is probably not enough when you have that many games, that many injuries. It's just not going to happen. So Diangana being in those roles, it's tough because we have a lot of people. But once you get rid of Yarmolenko, once you get rid of some of the other Deadwood in and around, all of a sudden those spaces open up for someone like Diangana, and those are the chances he takes. And to be fair, I'm of the opinion that he took the chances the first time as well. I'm not saying he's going to be a beater. He's got that thing Tim loves to deride me for. He's got potential, but we see what happens when it happens.
Yeah, exactly. We beat that with we've talked about that all the time. So real quick, Justin from Chicago has been working with ComeOnYouIrons.com, the app Come On You Irons, and they've been doing this awesome starting Premier League 11s from the Premier League era. Okay, so a lot of people are getting confused and arguing about that, but anyway, for the Premier League era, they're deep into it now. It's like the second or third round. It's second round. So anyway, make sure you head on over there to our Twitter and go ahead and get your votes in. I guess the most recent one is out of these 4. Who's your guy? Who's your central midfielder out of these? I guess the top 2 will move on. Anyway, we're on to this next one. Nope, not this one. Sorry. Here we go. All right. So according to the government's 50-page plan, football is being looked at to restarting June 1st behind closed doors. Should the players have to wear face masks during the game? We'll start with Charlie and go up.
Working under the assumption that football has to be played, no. Mainly because they'll get tested they'll know whether they have the infection going out onto the pitch. So if they don't have the infection, there's literally no point in wearing a face mask.
Yeah, bro.
All right, so listen, I know people bitching about my mic, and I'm probably going to blame my daughter because she uses, literally, like, there's probably, like, food inside this thing. She does her Zoom classes on this computer, so, and she's only 5, poor thing. She doesn't know any better. Like, she tends to get food all over my desk. Literally, if you saw my desk right now, you see nail polish all over the place.
Tim, don't try to blame that on your daughter. We've seen you on Saturday nights at the club. Don't lie to yourself.
But anyway, long story short, Yes, I'm sorry if you can't hear me. If I have to, plus I dropped it tonight too. Anyway, do I have to hold it up? Blah 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 blah. Anyway, is this better, people? Do I have to scream into this thing?
No, yeah, I can hear you good.
All right, well, people in chat keep telling me I'm too low, so
I haven't had any trouble hearing you, Tim. I'll be honest.
I don't like people telling me what to do. So anyway, what were we talking about? Where are we at? Is it Charlie?
Face mask.
Dave.
Dave.
I'm gonna say it would be rather interesting to see them wear face masks, but it's going to be impractical. You can't do that.
Wouldn't they pass out?
You would think. Come on.
Yeah, for all that running with the mask on.
Yeah, it'd be entertaining, but no, I don't see no way.
Yeah, man. The messages on those would be awesome. So instead of Balotelli pulling his shirt off with his goal celebration, you have he hate me or whatever you call it.
Rod Smart. Well, that was Rod Smart with the he hate me.
Yeah.
No, I know. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. All right. So Dave, so you think that they would though?
No, I don't think they would. But if they did, I would say they would have advertising on it, so the Premier League can make a few more bucks. But
yeah.
So from that standpoint, that may happen just because they need the money.
Oh boy. I'm just laughing at this, thinking about this. It's crazy. Sally, what do you think, man? You think it's even possible?
No, I mean I couldn't imagine running around that much with a mask over your face. That would just make breathing even harder. Because I mean, you think about it, once a player stops making a big run, that mask is coming right down to get oxygen anyway. So, plus with as much of a contact as it is, and as you guys said, they're going to get tested anyways. It kind of seems like a moot point anyway. I just think it just all sounds redundant at this point. Like, okay, well, we're going to play, but there's not going to be any fans. And you guys aren't going to be able to shake hands, but you have to wear masks and you still get sweaty and touch on each other. Like,
yeah.
It just doesn't make like when they said there's no beginning handshake for the season or for games, but yet you're still up on top of each other. Like, okay, cool. I mean, nice, but I don't know. It's pointless to me, especially the fact that you don't have symptoms for a while, or some people can carry it without having symptoms. Yeah, I think that's the most dangerous part too. If you have somebody playing 2 or 3 games, if they're going to play it in such a tight schedule, could possibly infect 2 or 3 teams. So. Well, I don't know. They should just not play, honestly.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, there's no way that you can ask these players to wear masks when they're playing soccer. It'd be impossible to breathe.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Dave from the chat took the words right out of my mouth. I wear one of these stupid ass masks when I go to the supermarket. Drives me fucking nuts, and I'm there for 20 minutes. So I'm just walking around picking up, picking up turkey. And I can't even imagine playing, 90 minutes of soccer in the goddamn mask. I go crazy. Plus, could you imagine the dives that people would try making with these masks? They're ripping their own mask off, saying that he's grabbing my face, trying to gouge my eyes.
Yeah.
It's a whole mess that it's not even worth it. It'd be totally ridiculous to be playing with.
Yeah. David.
I totally agree with everything everyone else has said. It doesn't seem conducive to an athletic sporting event that you're trying to breathe and you have that mask. I agree. Even with the mask in the stores, I feel uncomfortable, even though I feel it's necessary. Plus, all the players are being tested. I don't see the need. I think also optics, players playing in masks, overemphasizes the fact that this is different, and I think would be a turnoff to people who are already turned off watching it without supporters in the stands. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary.
No. I think that unless they're talking about doing American football, right, and having every a break every 2 seconds. You run about 100 feet, then you take a break. And I just don't see how it's humanly possible to run around 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 kilometers a match. And with that damn thing on your face. And how would it be on their face? You don't think that thing's going to fall off their ears, or would they have to have it strapped to them? And then is that too tight on them? And then they'll be crying about their friggin' I don't know. They just be crying. That's all they do is like Mo Salah. Mo Salah's the biggest cry fucking baby on this planet. Anyway, don't know why I brought that up. I just had to throw in the most solid jab there.
To be fair, do you remember Edgar Davids used to wear the orange glasses that were strapped around his face?
Yeah, when he played for Milan and Juventus.
Yeah. And Barnett when I went to see Barnett and he was there. That was a great moment. But yeah, you can get ones like that, ones that are elasticated around the back of the head.
Yeah. Well, no, thank you. This last question, all right, is this Sunday, which I guess was yesterday, right? Or is it this upcoming Sunday? I don't even know anymore. 4 hours ago. So I guess this upcoming Sunday. So anyway, the Hammers should have been taking on Aston Villa at London Stadium. What would have the outcome been? And I love these questions because every single week these questions come up. West Ham win, Villa win, score, draw, or goalless. These are always fun. Let's go with David and go down.
I think West Ham would have won 2-1 based on the form of West Ham, based on the form of Aston Villa. Also based on the fact that David Moyes does not historically over the past 5 years or so of his managerial career get points against the top teams, but he gets points against the lower teams. I think we would have seen a performance like we had against Southampton, where we came out, we played well, and we would have beat Aston Villa 2-1.
Unless it came down to the last match of the season and it was do or die, win or go home, and get relegated. You know what I mean? And a lot of the players on this club, not a lot of the players, there's not a lot. No, there's a few though, that would probably be sitting there thinking, man, if I just fucking take it easy today and we get relegated, then I can get fucking sold to a better club. I can go to fucking Chelsea, or I can go to, some other club, in the top 6 or something like that, or somewhere else, like Anderson or Lanzini or shit like that. That's always the back of my head.
Out of here anyway.
Yeah, it's happened before.
We're going on the predication that West Ham wouldn't be safe or Aston Villa wouldn't be safe. But
that's the thing, because we think about the matches that we just missed, all right? The teams that we had to play. It wasn't an easy run. Remember, we were all complaining before this whole COVID happened, right? That we had a shit run of games coming up. We played a few of them, obviously, but there was still there was 6 strong freaking games we were supposed to play. We still didn't play City again. And
we did have Watford again, right?
Yeah, Watford. Okay, yeah. And,
did we have Bournemouth again, or am I inventing that?
They were doing all right.
It would have been Manchester away, I think.
Yeah.
Nigel Pearson had them going, man. Watford, man. You know what I mean? Nigel Pearson was doing a great job with them. And Troy Deeney was fucking an animal the second half of the season. Mm-hmm. But anyway, who's next? Mark?
Yeah. There are only 2 teams in the league that I don't pick West Ham to win by 100. So West Ham would have won by 100. It would have been an epic game to watch.
Oh, God.
Allaire would have had 25 goals. It would have been one for the record books. I was so excited to continue to watch this team play the rest of the season based on those last 2 or 3 games that they played. And after we had Bowen come in, I was just like, oh man, this guy could actually be the guy who really starts to work with Allaire and helps turn this thing around. And, we start to watch consistently good football. And then obviously the season got shut down, but I just think that Villa stinks, quite honestly. I don't think they're a very good team. And I think that
we had a tough time away at Villa, though. We had a tough time this season away at Villa. We drew. I don't remember it was 2-2.
Yeah, we tied. A good friend of mine is a big Villa fan, so that was annoying to deal with. So
yeah.
I just don't think they're a good team, and I thought that we were playing really well. So I really thought that we would have beat them pretty handedly, 2 or 3-0. That's what I would have expected.
Well, you know what, Sofan, what I'll do here is I'll actually click on goals just to see who fucking voted goalless there for his sake. I guess it was just me. Okay. There you go. I voted goalless. I didn't mean it, though. I was doing it for you, man. All right. Sully.
Man, this would have been a really fun game to watch, considering the fact that it was the last game of the season and what could have been on the line. The fact that we're playing at home makes me confident that we would win, but we always teams that play physical. So if we won, it would be probably the ugliest 1-0 win of the season. I don't see Villa winning, but I wouldn't be surprised. So I would say West Ham win, just because I think we would be secure already at that point, so we weren't fighting against them for relegation, especially with the form that we were just about to get into, after the Arsenal game and all that. So I'll say West Ham win as well.
All right, David. Dave.
Yeah, I'm going to say West Ham win all the way. I mean, and looking at the remaining games that we would have had, we should have been safe. We had Newcastle, we had Burnley at the London Stadium. I think we would have won that. Norwich, granted it was at Carroll Road, we would have won that. Watford, we would have won that. And I would have think we would even beat Manchester United. So now that I think about that, we'd blow the Aston Villa game, and we would have won. We would have been safe.
Yeah, like if we actually do play these games behind closed doors with the schedule that we have left, I really do think that there's no chance of us getting relegated.
Right.
But honestly, that's another story for another day. Well, trust me, we only have a few minutes left. Let's not talk about that now. Sorry for bringing it up. My bad. Charlie, what are your thoughts, man?
If it was a situation where our safety was on the line, I think I would have backed us. I don't
At home, definitely.
I don't think David Moyes is a very good cup manager, which is every game, everything is on the line. But I think if it was a situation where we went down, that literally would have been the end of his top flight managerial career, probably his managerial career anywhere. And I think that probably would have been enough motivation for him to actually do something. And then if you look at the season, I think their away record was absolutely shocking. I think their home record was slightly better than ours, but I think their away record was one of the worst in the league by a significant distance. If it was a situation...
Again, listen, as the story goes, when you have a stat like that and you need to break the fucking curse, what do you do? You play West Ham.
That is true, Tim. Stats seem to fold in the West Ham.
This is what I was going to say, is if it was a situation where we were safe and they weren't, I probably would have backed them. I like a lot of their players. A lot of their players like John McGinn, Jack Grealish, Tyrone Mings all have that sort of, I don't want to say passion because it's quite a generic word, but drive, let's say, because that's less generic apparently. If it's a situation where it's fight or die, I would back those players to fight. Not all of them, but certain people in that squad. So if we didn't have anything to play for and they did, I would think they would probably win. But in a situation where it's winner stays up, essentially, I would have backed us. So I would say West Ham win in that sense.
Real quick before I forget, Ken in the chat room. Listen, I told Lee to tell you. I don't know if he did or not, but thank you so much for the coffee. It was absolutely awesome. It was some Black Rifle coffee, company coffee. It's fucking amazing. So thanks, Ken. I appreciate it. So that's that. There's only I don't think there's any other hammer supposed. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there is actually. This is a fun one. We're going to end on this one. Should be good. It'll be Charlie. We'll go up. So if you had to be self-isolating with one former West Ham manager of these, obviously, who would it be? Lou Macari, Big Sam, Avram Grant, or Glenn Rader? Now, for me, there's only one fucking choice, and that's Big Sam. But anyway, go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, bro. Big Sam. Like, listen, he looks like he has a bit of bants. He probably cooks a mean pie. You know what I mean? Or at least know someone who cooks a mean pie. I mean, do I like watching his football? No, but he was a banter man, and I would appreciate living with him in such turbulent times. I think maybe I wouldn't watch the news with him. I thought that might be a bit depressing, but everyday life, Big Sam.
Now, Faux Cheesy says Abram all day. I hope he's joking. I have this massive fear of vampires, and the undead. So I don't know if that.
He kind of looks like Dr. Giggles, Tim. I don't. Do you remember that movie?
Yes,
Dr.
yes,
Giggles?
absolutely. Yes. What the fuck's that guy's name? Ah, damn it. Yes, he does. Anybody check that out? Seriously, Google Dr. Giggles and the horror film, and you will see Avram Grant's doppelganger from America. Anyway, Dave.
Well, yeah, number one has got to be Big Sam because he was the manager when I first started watching. So, plus I saw him on Sky one time at deadline day, and he was just mowing down pizza slices after pizza slices. So, I mean, sounds like a good time to me, man. Just give him a couple of beers, good time.
Yeah, he does seem like the guy you'd want to fucking have a pint with. You know what I mean? He does seem like a lively guy. My favorite Big Sam moment was the Chico Flores moment. I don't know if you guys remember that one. I mean, a lot of people love the press conference where he was talking shit about Jose Mourinho after parking the bus or something like that. But no, the Chico Flores moment, the big laughter on him, man. I just love that moment. Anyway,
it's the fact as well when Chico Flores steps to him, he starts laughing even louder. That's the best bit. He like steps it up a notch. Sorry, Sally, I apologize for interrupting.
There was like a GIF or a GIF or whatever somewhere, or a YouTube video where like they took that clip and then they added devil horns to Big Sam as he was laughing even harder and harder. It was fucking hilarious. Anyway, sorry, Sally.
No, you're good, man. Well, the only one I'm really ever used to managing the club since I've been following them is Big Sam. So I'd have to say him just from familiarity, honestly. So I know it's not really the answer maybe that people would want to hear, but this is the only other one that I have familiarity with for the club since my time following them. So he'd be my choice.
Mark.
So I'm not too familiar with any of these guys, as I am a newer West Ham follower. But what I do like to do is when I do come across some of these questions, I like to try to take the opportunity to look some of these guys up and beef myself up on my West Ham history. The name Big Sam obviously immediately caught my eye because it's Big Sam. And one of the first stories that I read about him when I Googled his name, Googled Big Sam West Ham. And one of the first stories is like Big Sam attributes West Ham's big club mentality to him, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Larger than life.
Wait till you hear him speak.
It was about him.
I read that and I was just like, this dude is a fucking psychopath. Like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, is this the big club bullshit we've been dealing with? So, I mean, he sounds like he's a riot. So I guess he'd be the guy I want to hang out with.
Yeah, man, I wanted him back. I wanted him out so bad. I joined the Facebook group immediately when it first came out. Sam Allardyce out or whatever, that whole campaign. Because time was up. Obviously, we needed to move forward. I do wish we had kept on to him a little bit longer because it was his defense, his setup, his club, his players that would have done better. Listen, if we had the players like that Bilic had, if Allardyce had those players, he would have done a lot better. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Big Sam for me, like just think about it, people, everybody who's watching this right now. Yes, exactly. These notifications probably are abuse. This is, by the way, it's my personal. I do not when I do Hammers polls on this show, I usually log in on my personal. So because Lee loves to answer the questions ahead of time on American Hammers Twitter, so I don't like to show that. I want to like this. But anyway, the last time West Ham had any good experience at all, any good times, right? Any good. The last good era that we had was, believe it or not, it was the Sam Allardyce era. And I'm sorry, he's the one that got us promoted from Championship, first time asking, and we finished 10th in his first attempt in the Premier League. Yes, we had some ups and downs thereafter, but again, he didn't finish any lower than fucking, what's his name? What's that douchebag? Pellegrini did.
Yeah.
So anyway.
That's my opinion. Don't don't slate the other people. Send me some more notifications if you'd like. I need about give me another couple 20. So let's get that 16 number up a little higher. Anyway, what we tell? Oh, David, it's your turn, David.
Yeah, Big Sam's got to be. Love him or hate him, he's super entertaining. I read something in an article. If you look up bluff northerner in the dictionary, you'll get Sam Allardyce. Very good luck. You know what you're getting with him. I also saw this hilarious video after he got fired from the England job after only managing one game. He was just like, I think it was in Ibiza. He was dancing with a glass of wine. It was immensely entertaining. I agree with the sentiment that his era has been underrated. But I will say the one thorn that sticks in my craw is I forget what season it was, but we were playing in that diamond with Stuart Downing and Alex Song before Alex Song got injured. And we were in fourth place, I believe, in mid-December. And then Andy Carroll came back and we switched our style of play back to the typical Allardycean style of playing, kind of went a little bit down the table. I thought that was a moment that we could have captured if we had stuck with the diamond. But overall, definitely, I would like to hang out with Sam Allardyce over all these other managers.
That was the 14-15 season. That was the season before he got. That was his last season. Yeah, we went on a shit run that second half.
Yeah, we were fourth.
Song was a hell of a player.
We were. The first half of that season was very exciting. We were winning games. We were scoring goals. Didn't matter how
we were playing non-typical Allardycean football.
Yeah. So he got. He fell out of his place, and yes, it was the last. Yes, we had Tompkins as well. Yes, good shout, Foshizi. We had James Tompkins. Anyway, so that said, we've been going for an hour and 6 minutes. I want to thank everybody in the chat room. Really appreciate it. I see some new faces, some old faces, and there's also some people who are missing. So I hope Tebow's doing good. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We do have a show tomorrow night. I don't know who's going to be co-hosting with. Ray, but Ray's got his new show called it's not new, he's just calling it something different now. It's Hammer the Point. In a play of words of his PowerPoint skills, because he always tends to bring PowerPoints to the table. I don't know why I still have Hammer's polls up. Sorry guys. There we are. So yeah, we have a show tomorrow night. We also have Hammer Shots on Wednesday with Zach from DC versus Jazz from as he says, Westminster. He won't. Yeah, yeah, he loves that. Anyway, great dude, but great. It'll be a great show. It'll be very entertaining. Zach's always entertaining. Always. Anyway, and then Thursday, I don't know what we're doing. Thursday I do. Sorry. Yeah, it's Hammer It Out. With it's the Hammer It Out show on Thursday, bi-weekly show. Yes, starting this Thursday, and then Friday. I don't know what the score on Friday, Saturday, but Sunday we definitely have Matt Taylor, the Matt Taylor from the Allardyce era. Yes, good guy. Anyway, he feels awful about it too that he hasn't been able to come on, but he's definitely going to come on. I just hope to get him before. Dave and X take him from me, like they did with Matt Etherington. Those fucking pricks. Anyway, love those guys. I met them in person. They're great people. And
Tim,
nobody's listening. Nobody's watching at this point.
More wars, bro. You need to end it quickly.
That fucking Geo guy. Let me tell you. No, I'm just kidding.
I chat nonsense about him all day, but just you need to end it.
Listen, man. Nobody watches this late. I can say whatever the fuck I want at this point. Let me hold on. Let me do a Lemmy impersonation.
He's gone, bro. He's lost.
No, I won't. Never mind.
Now we know how the mic broke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, doing my Lemmy. Yeah,
Tim's doing some weird stuff.
The Motorhead, man. Oh God. Anyway, guys, thank you guys, girls, whatever.
wherever you are. Thank you so much. And listen, I got to thank David from Boston.
No sweat.
If you're ever in Boston, make sure you check him out and check out Boston Hammers at the Banshee. And over at Stowe's in Philly, make sure you check out Mark and Katie and all of them over there in Philly. And if you're ever in Sacramento, Sully probably won't be there, but make sure you
Right.
he's got to get over there. You got to get over the Sacramento Hammers, man. I guess you got to get that going. And if you're ever in St. Louis at the Amsterdam, yeah, make sure you check out the Amsterdam. Check out Dave and Brawley and those guys over there at the West Ham Way Pod, and those do good dudes. And then obviously, if you're ever in England on the boats, check out the boats and check out Charlie. Check out my boy, and get a big hug. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You're welcome, Tim.
I'll talk to you all. I'll talk to you all off the air real quick. Don't go anywhere.
Everyone else, Charlie.
The show's called Hammer It Out. It's on Thursdays.